just stand back here.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We are very happy that you are here to learn about this new initiative that we are starting here at the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Before we begin the news conference, we would like to first show you a video about our autism training program.
When you're interacting with special needs children, you have to come out of your box. You have to leave your world to interact in their world. And for you to stop thinking about self and think about somebody else, that makes a difference.
Who do you live with?
With mommy and daddy and brother and grandpa.
Okay.
The Autism for Law Enforcement class is a class for newly hired deputies to learn about autism, learn about the characteristics that they may see in an individual with autism, and meet individuals with autism if they've never done so before.
Each child and adult with autism, it's different. You have to take each situation differently.
Some of the things that I want my recruits to understand is the conversation may go a little bit slower while they're processing whatever's happening, and you just need to be patient.
It can go wrong. And it very quickly, very, very fast.
I tell them all the time before I leave, I said, I don't want my son to die. And if you can take one moment to say, wait, this doesn't look right, it doesn't feel right, then you will start to see.
If I can get my recruits who are about to go on the road as full-fledged deputies to recognize some of those characteristics and stop and think, then that's what I wanted them to get. And that's all I could ever ask for.
Do you know what kind of phone it was?
Yeah, it's the one I got from the ACT store at Waterford.
What I hope is that our deputies will respond and recognize that that person has autism and be able to calm the situation down and say, wait a minute, I remember that from my training. This person maybe has autism. That's why they're acting like this. And then take the action to help settle things down.
Being allowed to come in and make my difference, I'm extremely, extremely happy that I can potentially help the special needs community.
I have a special place in my heart for individuals with autism, so I want my recruits to build that same special place in their heart. I just want them to have that drive to help a little bit extra with these individuals that need it.
All right, well, good afternoon, and thank you for being here. And that video we played was autism training for our deputies that we've been doing for 4 years, something that we're extremely proud of. And of course, on the stage with me, we got the rock stars of that video, Michael Miller and Michael Morales, and their moms, Marlene and Denise. And they may say a few words in a minute. And of course, we have Julie, who's been doing all of our training for our deputies on how to interact with folks who have autism. And then Terry Burns from the Center for Autism. So, you know, here in Orange County, we are committed to the safety of all of our residents. And that includes residents with autism. So today we're launching a new initiative so that our first responders can be alerted when they interact with people with autism. And so here's how it works. We're gonna let people get this decal free of charge, anyone in Orange County, and folks can put this on the rear of their vehicle or their home, which will alert our deputies that someone inside the home or someone inside the vehicle has autism, and they could draw back on that training that you all watched and how to interact and how to settle and calm down situations with folks with autism. It's very, very simple. They're just going to go to OCSO.com/autism and they could sign up and we'll mail the decal to them. And the great part about this program is if you don't want to put this decal on your car or your home, you can just fill out the online form, we will flag the address. We will put it in our system so that if we, God forbid, have to go to a 911 call to that home, our deputies will already know that someone inside may have autism. And again, they can draw from that training that they have had. All too many times you've seen throughout the nation some tragedies that happen with law enforcement. Unfortunately, a 13-year-old with autism was shot in Utah last year. And maybe if that person had the training, maybe if there was some warning that alerted the officer that the person had autism, that tragedy could have been prevented. And in a moment, I'm going to have Terry speak to you, but I was amazed, and she was giving us some numbers of how many people in Orange County they believe, which is way underreported, and how many have autism. So again, it's a new program that you just go to OCSO.com/autism, and people can put this sticker on the back of their car. They could put it on their home. And again, it alerts our deputies and law enforcement, actually anyone in Orange County, that person in that car, in that home may have autism. And for us as law enforcement, the more information that we have, the better. And that's why I'm so proud of the Orange County Sheriff's Office. So proud of Julie, who does the autism training. She has that background in special education, and she's been doing it for our new deputies for 4 years. And so this is just another step that we can take. And proud of the deputies from this agency who decided and came up with this program. So I think it'd be a good time now to have Terry come up and say a few words.
Hi, so I am at the Center for Autism and Related Disabilities, which is the statewide agency. Our UCF location has over 16,000 families of children and adults with autism in Central Florida. Over 6,700 of them live in Orange County. So on behalf of all of our families, I think this is a great initiative, and I thank Julie and the sheriff and all of the deputies for the training and for their heart that they have for the children and adults that we support. This is going to be a great opportunity for families to give advice on how to approach their child. If you had to come to the home in an emergency situation or a first responder situation, they could put things that would calm their child, things that would upset their child, and give the deputies more information to help make a calming relationship with the family. So I just want to say this is a great initiative. We're looking forward to doing additional things once COVID restrictions are lifted, and we're very, very thankful. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Terry. And now I'm going to have Marlene Miller come up and kind of explain why she likes the program and a story that maybe if we had this could have helped.
Hello. We found out about this and I was just so excited. My son, Michael Miller, and I were in a car accident, and the ambulance came, and one of the first things they did was, "Can we help you? Are you okay?" And I had to say to them, "My son has autism. Just wait 1 second. Let me talk to him." And they were very respectful, and they were like, "Okay, let us know how to approach him, what to do." We were discussing it earlier. I was luckily awake and okay to talk, but what if I was unconscious? How would they have been able to know that they couldn't just start medical procedures on him, and how that could have gone wrong? Like Denise says many times, when you're not aware that, especially a young adult, it's not like they're children, they're young adults, do have autism and can't express their needs and communicate. So we're really excited about this. I will be putting it on all my family's cars, because I do have 2 other children in their 20s who drive Michael around. And that's something I wanted to express to put it on all the vehicles for your family members, because you never know when an incident might happen where you have that particular autistic or special needs child in the vehicle with you.
Thank you so much. So at this time, if you guys have questions, certainly I think questions for anyone really, and for me as well.
What kind of things could go wrong in a traffic stop or a home visit for somebody that has autism or any kind of mental situation that just for what can happen?
I think Julia would be perfect for that. Go ahead. Yeah, come on.
So there are a lot of different things that could go wrong there are a lot of characteristics to autism that could be misconstrued as something else. For instance, an individual with autism who stims, it resembles an individual who is possibly high on drugs, narcotics. They tend to portray some of the same characteristics. So we wanted to make it where our deputies would have those, the abilities to recognize the small differences between the two. So that's just one example. As far as like a traffic stop is concerned, a lot of individuals with autism are very sensitive to noise and lights, which comes with our traffic stops. We come with a lot of lights, we come with sounds, and we are also an unknown person to them, which can sometimes make them very nervous. Just like today is a new experience for them, they were experiencing some of that. So if a person with autism was to be very nervous and not like the situation and try to flee from it, obviously that can be very dangerous if it's a traffic stop that's on the side of the road and now they're trying to get away from the situation because they don't like it. So just different things like that. We wanted our deputies to be able to recognize that this could potentially be a problem so that we can minimize our sensory input as much as possible in situations like this.
How did these three big superstars behind me, how did they help with the class? What were they doing? Were they doing like role playing scenarios?
Yes, they help so much. So I can stand up with a PowerPoint and preach away everything about autism, but it's so different when you actually get to meet somebody with autism. So they come in and they're a fantastic example to my recruits. As two examples, again, autism is a spectrum disorder. So like like Denise said in the video, everybody is different with autism, but it just lets them meet somebody. And yes, we do scenario training to just express those characteristics that we want them to look for a little bit more, like being very eager to please and somebody potentially being easily taken advantage of and stuff like that may come into law enforcement. They're also very honest individuals, and that can lead to different things that we may respond to a call for service for.
In light of the video that you mentioned in when you learned about it, what was that time frame between you learned about it and you decided to come up with this program? How did you?
Well, so my staff came to me, not even 6 weeks ago, I think it was. And as soon as I heard it, I was like, yes, let's do it. Let's do it as quickly as possible, because I heard about the incident in Utah. If you just do an internet search, you can see all those different incidents. And that's exactly what we're trying to prevent, another tragedy involving law enforcement and someone who may be in some type of crisis. No, so all of our incoming deputies are trained in autism. So that we've been doing it for 4 years. So everyone who's on the street, almost all the new folks who have been out there have it. The new part of the initiative is the sticker. So that's even furthers our ability to be able to interact with folks in our community of autism. You heard from Terry about how many people in Orange County that we know of have autism. And so just being able to see this, I can tell you, as a law enforcement officer for 30 years, if you see that, the deputy's attention is going to be drawn to the star and say, okay, well, that person has autism. And just as Julie explained, there are certain things and certain behaviors that, could be misconstrued. And if you know already, well, wait a minute, I saw the sticker. I know exactly what's happening. This person in the car has autism. Let me draw back. Let me revert back to when I was trained about this, and be able to deal with that situation a lot better than just coming up to a vehicle and not knowing and seeing one of these big gentlemen in here. You just never know, and that's what we're trying to prevent. And just talking to one of my neighbors who has a 18-year-old with autism, she absolutely loved the idea. And I tell people, I hear different sounds, coming from a backyard in my neighborhood. I know exactly what that is, but a responding law enforcement officer may not. The expansion part will come with the other municipalities in Orange County. So, anyone in Orange County can get this, and our deputies will know what it is. And like I explained, a law enforcement officer is going to see that. They're going to be drawn to that. They're going to see that the person has autism, even if they don't have the training in one of our smaller municipalities. They're at least going to know, okay, this is what's happening. My lights, my siren, my flashlight, my voice, I'm a strange person. That's why this person in the car is acting that way. So, but the ultimate goal would be expanded on. And I think an important part of the program is the flagging of the address, because we do, I got a Facebook message from a resident who's going overboard thanking us because, the person from within inside the house called 911. And they had autism, and but because that address was already flagged, the deputy already knew, and that the parent was just so thankful that we even knew that this person inside had autism, and probably from a previous call. But now we can be a little bit more proactive about it. We can fill out the online form. You don't have to have the sticker, but we will mail the stickers to you, and that just again enhances our ability to know what we're getting into. And like I said earlier, the more we know, the more information a deputy has about the occupants of a vehicle, the occupants of a home, the better.
Everybody good? Okay, thank you so much.
All right.